Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video. I think she's going to be sitting today's episodes out. She's out and about today, so you're stuck with me, which is unusual on a weekend. Usually it's all geeky all the time, so I hope you're not disappointed. We're going to talk about gaming journos turning on each other. We're going to talk about Second Wind Group, which is a group of gaming journos and video content creators, a lot of them from Escapist magazine, and they formed a collective, right? And this collective makes like $50,000 a month on Patreon, and then they have their own YouTube channel, and they're closing in on 500,000 subscribers. So I mean, they're doing pretty good. In terms of views and subs, for the most part. I know the last couple of videos they did haven't done too hot, but there's some infighting going on. And I'm going to try to make sense of this. I know a lot of other YouTubers are looking at this a lot more closely than I am. I'm just seeing the natural end result of a bunch of people getting together and forming a group online, even if their interests are shared. It almost always ends this way. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about gaming journos turning on each other. And again, this is just the way the internet tends to work, right? I mean, you can have smaller groups of people that work together or have mutual goals, right? But when you start getting a lot of people involved, a lot of people together, 9 times out of 10, they turn on each other. And we've seen this before. We saw it with webcomics back in the day. I've seen it in the podcasting space, the Disney influencer space. I've seen it in any kind of like comic collective. People wonder why we don't go on a lot of live streams, why we don't affiliate with any particular groups. And it's not that I have any problem with any particular group. It's that this is usually what happens. There's infighting. Almost always. So we're going to talk about Second Wind, getting winded, I guess, and people quitting, rage quitting. I don't know what that's going to do for their Patreon. Again, they are doing very well on Patreon. They're making some pretty good money, but they're splitting it like how many different ways. They have a bunch of people involved in this group. So let's talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. So they have their own Wikipedia entry because of course they do. We don't have our own Wikipedia entry. I don't think Wikipedia would let us have an entry. We had to fight to get our comic in there, and our comic was actually covered by mainstream media outlets at one point. Anyway, Second Wind Entertainment Group, according to Wikipedia, so take it or leave it, is a video-based entertainment outlet focusing on video games and other forms of popular media. It's basically a Patreon and a YouTube channel, but okay. The group received significant media attention upon its formation, having been founded by former video team members of the Escapist media outlet, including editor-in-chief Nick Calandra, and he is going to come up because that is the person they seem to be having a problem with, and star talent Yahtzee Croshaw, which a lot of people are familiar with him if you watch any gaming YouTube videos, or you're old school, you remember him. Right. The founding followed Calandra's firing on November 6, 2023 from The Escapist by parent company Gamers. Yeah, so this was kind of, as I recall, this was kind of a middle finger to companies like Gamers. A lot of the people that followed, especially Yahtzee Croshaw, threw in on Patreon and got these guys like freaking $50,000 a month. Just since November. That's insane. There are people that do Patreon for like a decade that aren't making that kind of money, but they did get a lot of media attention. And again, I think this was one of those things that was very much, stick it to the man. Let's bankroll these guys. And there are other groups like this, right? A lot of gaming journos that have been fired from other publications because the whole thing is imploding, guys. I mean, the whole scene is imploding. And regardless of how you feel about gaming journos as a whole, there are some good ones out there. I believe there are some good ones out there. I think they get lumped in with a lot of the activists pretending to be gaming journos, the people who are clearly more obsessed with activism than they are with video games. But there are some people out there that, even if I don't agree with their politics, are still decent journalists, right? But they are going out there and they're starting their own sites. These aren't corporate funded. So the flip side of that is, they're probably not going to be pressured as much to bring the views, right? Bring the views. The reason I think they write a lot of the articles they write, the Gamergate articles or whatever, is because it brings the views, right? It brings the views. Even if people are clicking on the site, they're hate clicks, they're still clicks. And when you're being told your job is on the line, you're going to do what you got to do, right? That being said, some of these gaming journos like Alyssa Mercante absolutely delight in tormenting gamers. So I don't feel too bad if she gets gone from the industry. But yeah, Second Wind did really well. And now it's all unraveling, I guess. They said they retain the rights to zero punctuation. Croshaw now hosts a direct successor titled Fully Ramblomatic, which I have not seen. I have not seen this yet, which was the initial name of Zero Punctuation prior to the Escapist's acquisition of the property. Second Wind continues to publish other shows formerly published on The Escapist, which the creators retain the rights to, including Cold Take, Adventure is Nigh, and Design Delve, while also streaming on a frequent basis. Well, yeah, they're doing pretty good on YouTube. I mean, the last couple of videos, not so much, but I mean, this is respectable. And most of their money does come from Patreon. Well, anyway, let's cut to the chase. It's 6 minutes in, and I had to explain who they were because people are like, who the hell is this? Well, there's trouble in paradise. And the trouble seems to be around founder Nick Calandra. Now, he did go after a bunch of other YouTubers. He went after Grums. I remember he went after Grums. Grums actually blamed him for doxing his family. This is according to Grums. I don't know the full story, so you're going to have to take it up with him. But he said he got doxed. My family's been doxed. Second Wind and former EIC of Escapist Nick Calandra has weaponized his Discord server and is encouraging his thousands of Patreon supporters to dox me. They did, and unlike certain other journalists who don't post receipts, I will. He says address was posted among other details. Instead of banning the user who did so, he encouraged them to do more and to further avoid TOS violations. He asked that the information be sent to him in secret to avoid Discord disciplinary action. Yeah, Discord, if they find out about it, they don't like you doxing people. If they find out about it. So Grums maintains that Nick has been stalking me and tweeting about me for almost 2 months nonstop. It's so hot to get me that he was fooled by one of my supporters into publishing a story on X from a user whose name was a sting, an anagram for urinalist, and he fell for it. So yeah, so Calandra has been, as I understand it, he has been after YouTubers for a while. Now, I have not had any run-ins with him that, I am aware of, unless he used a fake name or whatever, but I don't think I'm blocked by him. But I do know that his name keeps coming up. Smash JT, he's gone after side scrollers. So I don't know. But apparently a lot of his own people are having a problem with him. So this is Hypnotic. Second Wind is in big trouble. Nick Calandra has been exposed for causing a big divide within the company and tanking their ad revenue and sponsorship potential. Follow Grums for the breakdown. Okay. So this is Frost of Rivia. The other Frost. I have resigned from Second Wind Group. I'll say more later, but I do want people to know where their money and support is going in the meantime. So yeah, $50,000 a month. Where is it going? He said, when I joined Second Wind Group, I was under the assumption we were forming a team of creatives with equal value and equal say. No, that never happens, dude. I'm going to tell you, as an old dog, as somebody who's been online and who has joined internet groups, there's always somebody at the top, and then you get the favorites, and then everybody else is supposed to fall in line. I'm telling you how it is. It's pretty much just like working for a company, right? You got the CEO and you got the C-suite, and then you got the worker bees. And that's pretty much how it works. And, a lot of people are okay with just being the worker bee. They get their money and they do their thing. And then but some people, they want to be the CEO, and the CEO is not going to let you be co-CEO. I'm just saying. Anyway, back to his memo. He said individual creators would oversee their personal series and the group would decide how to run the business together. Sounds a lot like socialism. And guess what? It didn't work. It's plain as day that we have recreated the toxic corporate environment we abandoned, led by a petulant wannabe CEO. Oh my God, it's amazing I said that. Who overspends, overpromises, underdelivers, sows division, tarnishes our image, asserts his creative vision rather creative blindness, and sabotages anyone's attempts to correct him, all while he fails his most basic duties, joyrides around the world, clout farms, and expects the community and Yahtzee to foot the bill because Nick Calandra tanks our YouTube revenue and makes us undesirable for sponsors. It's beyond incompetence. Well, hell, we even get sponsors. Like, what's he doing that he's not even getting sponsors? Like, people think we're dicey. We're actually pretty ad safe. So what the hell is he doing? Nick Calandra operates in bad faith to serve his ego, and this group lacks the attitude and processes to appropriately deal with inaction and inability to deliver the core capabilities of our roles. Man, this is very wordy, dude. No offense, but this is very wordy. The board of directors lacks they have a board of directors? They have a board of directors? The board of directors lacks a knowledgeable enough majority to see through even the most basic Google searchable errors in Nick's farcical, is that a word? In his directions, and use their personal feelings as a substitute for information, even when presented with dumbed down versions at their repeated requests. The rest of the owners have little knowledge of what's going on, and I don't fault them because that's the whole point of the culture of isolation. There aren't enough leads at once thinking there's a problem. The rest don't know the problems, therefore there are no problems. Again, some people are perfectly happy just being worker bees and just getting paid to do their thing, and that's fine. If you have a bunch of people that want to be the boss, working together in the same company is not a good idea. It never, ever, ever works out. Or you have a bunch of star screams. You have a bunch of people that think they should be the leader, trying to do everything they can do to undermine the leader to put themselves in. But then when they actually get the chance, they blow it. Yeah, I'm just saying, I've been there too. I wasn't Starscream. I've had people try to take me out of different jobs, and they were completely incompetent. But whatever. All my personal attempts to make Nick see reason are ignored. All my attempts to make the leads aware of Nick's behavior are brushed off with minimal action. All my attempts to raise concern for our systemic issues with leads are put off until after problems occur. So they're saying Yahtzee brings all the views, basically. I refuse to be subjected to this behavior any longer. I believe I've done everything in my power to address issues for over 6 months, and I want no part in preying on the community's goodwill and Yahtzee's hard work simply because we can't run a business. At this rate, we don't deserve to run a business. Consider this my formal resignation, effective immediately, and we put this out there in public to make sure the world can see it and talk about it, and that was probably intentional, right? Gigabear says the second win Patreon death watch begins now. I don't know how their Patreon's doing. It looks to me like they're about where they've always been, about 50 some thousand. They've actually gone down since they started. And again, I think a lot of people donated because it was a big FU to the Man to Gamers group. And they started out with like 60,000. Then we went down to like 51,000. It sounds to me like, I mean, look, I'm going to be real with you here. That amount of money, I mean, that's an insane amount of money for Patreon. There are Patreons that do better than that, but that definitely puts them in, like, yeah, the top 50 Patreons in less than a year. But in the grand scheme of things, for business with like this many people, I don't know how many people are involved in this group, but it's not really a lot of money. I mean, it really isn't. We're talking after Patreon's fees, probably $500,000 a year. I'm guessing. Split how many ways? And we're going to talk about numbers because apparently this has come up too. I don't think it's a lot of money, but you can see that they're already fighting over the money. I'm like, what would have been better, in my personal opinion, is if they designated an actual leader or they decided they were going to split things equally. Like we get, $20,000. There's 5 of us. We each get $4,000. Very basic math. That would have been easier. But then you're going to have other people pulling the majority of the views, like Yahtzee. And this happens with webcomics too. This happened with webcomic collectives. You always had like a couple of 800-pound gorillas, like really big websites that were pulling the whole thing along, and then everybody else thought they should have as much input. And it's just, it's weird. These things always implode. I am not surprised at all, especially when you're dealing with people that have egos, and a lot of journalists have egos, and it's gonna, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Tech Ops says, truly a shame this despicable prick didn't get ousted from his own publication. Then again, journalism doesn't actually generate revenue through legit means anymore, so his fallacy won't last. I look forward to Second Wind dying like the rest of them in the future. Yeah, probably. It sounds like they're doing the exact same thing that they talked about not doing. Yeah, so this is the guy that went after, Smash JT and tried to get his page taken down. Back on Smash JT's list because I was continuing to actively work to get taken down on Wix for continuing to promote a list of targeted harassment. Basically, as I remember, and I don't know Smash JT, but as I recall, he was going after Alyssa Mercanti, and all these journos were kind of sticking together here. So yeah, this is it's not a good look. Yeah, he was trying to get them taken down. That's kind of douchey, right? 8-Bit Eric says people quitting Second Wind because of Calandra. Yeah, apparently Calandra was on side scrollers. I do remember that. I was like, how in the hell did they land him on side scrollers? But I guess he played nice. I didn't watch the whole episode, but they said, let's not forget the smear campaign Calandra pulled against me. I'd tagged Second Wind, but I'm also blocked. They don't care about his behavior. He is cancer. So this is a Frost of Rivia. Second resignation from Second Wind on the same day. So this Grums has this up. This is Cisco Araneta. I'm actually not familiar with a lot of these people. I do know Yahtzee or know of Yahtzee, but that's about the extent of it. Critical support for the other Frost. Today was my last day at Second Wind as well. All I can say is we exceeded sales goals every day, every single month. Sales goals. You have a $50,000 Patreon. What is going on? Your YouTube channel's not big enough to be raking in like mad money and sponsorships. I'm telling you, as a channel that actually has more subs than you have, you're not making the mad money on the sponsorships. And I don't even have a sales team. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I need to have like 50 people working for me going out there but then I have, like 48 of them hating my guts probably. But I said, thanks to all the dope clients I've had the privilege of working with. Let's do it again. Email and LinkedIn is in my bio. So that's 2, right? So what's going on here? As clarified on Discord, I've been off for the last month as the team intervened with me and made clear I'd be fired, which I agreed with if I did not rein myself in as I was spiraling mentally and hurting the business. Oh, this is Nick. This was addressed a month ago with the team, and I've made the necessary changes to resolve it. What the hell is going on here? Gigabear, screenshot of leaked Second Wind salaries from Side Scroller production or podcast video earlier today. This is outright scandalous. These numbers should have been reversed between Frost and Nick. Yeah, it's 12,000. This is per month. 12,000 per month. Nick, 8,000. Omar, Cisco, Jack. Frost got $4,000 a month. That's still for like, I don't know what these guys were making wherever they were working before, Escapist or whatever. But for a video game journalist, that's actually pretty damn good money. That's pretty good money because I know what these jobs pay, and they do not pay that much. That's why I'm going to be honest. They get the people they get. But yeah, I mean, anytime you get money involved like this, you're going to get jealousy. You're going to get infighting. You're going to get accusations. And if the leader is not doing what he's supposed to be doing or she's supposed to be doing, yeah, it makes it very, very easy. But Second Wind covering up their responses and discourse now by forcing you to join the Patreon they know Nick banned a ton of people from. A bit of how things work at Second Wind. So here's likely what happens, or was likely next to happen. Frost next cold take will be on Second Wind. If you've ever watched his vids, he's pretty thorough. The resignation statement was just a quick warning about what's going on. It was not him presenting his case. That comes next. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if more people quit. Again, I'm not surprised by this at all, but I remember when we were talking about gaming journalists getting laid off, we had a lot of people mentioning Second Wind to us and being like, Neener, Clownfish, look, they're probably making more money than you are. And look at this. This is the greatest thing ever. Look at these gaming journalists are doing it, and they're going to stick it to you, and they're going to beat you YouTubers at your own game. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's, again, you got too many cooks in the kitchen, too many people with egos. And yeah, I think the whole thing's going to come unraveling here pretty soon. Just a theory, just a game theory. But there we go, guys. We'll keep an eye on this one. It is kind of interesting to see. Again, I don't fault anybody for going out and starting their own thing once they've gotten laid off from a publication, from a corporate publication. But you know, a lot of times when you have multiple creatives like this and everybody's supposed to be, you know, equal partners or whatever, you got too many people making decisions. They have what, like 8 or 10 or 12 people in this group. Yeah, people are not going to see eye to eye. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.